Hey, coin hunters. You're watching Coins Hunter USA, the channel where small cents make big wins. I'm your gal behind the loop, and today the spotlight is on the Lincoln penny. In minutes, we'll hit the must-checks that turn a 1 cent into a $100 plus keeper, wheat-backed keys like 1909 SVDB and 1914 D, headline errors like the 1955 and 1969 S double dies, the 1982 copper versus zinc switch, and stealth varieties like 1992 close AM and 1998 to 2000 wide AM. Grab your rolls, tilt that light, and let's hunt the tiny diagnostics, date, mint mark, weight, and luster, that separate pocket change from profit. Tap subscribe and let's make every cent count. Top 1 today, I have something truly exciting for you. We're going to talk about a coin that most people completely overlook, a coin that seems ordinary and everyday, but in reality, it holds secrets that could change the way you look at your spare change forever. I'm talking about the United States of America Lincoln penny from 1976. At first glance, this penny looks just like any other. It has Abraham Lincoln on the front, as it has since 1909, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, just like the other cents made from 1959 until 2008. But here's the fascinating part. While the U.S. Mint was busy striking special bicentennial designs on quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins to celebrate America's 200th birthday, the humble penny kept its standard design. No fancy anniversary look, no special edition. And yet, even without a bicentennial design, the 1976 Lincoln penny became a coin collectors can't stop talking about. So, what makes this coin special? The answer lies in a mix of rarity, condition, and minting errors. You see, not all coins come out of the mint perfect. Sometimes, mistakes happen, and those mistakes can turn a 1-cent coin into something worth thousands of dollars. One of the most sought-after varieties is the double-die penny. Imagine looking at the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," on the coin, and instead of crisp, clean letters, you notice they appear doubled. That's not your eyes playing tricks on you, that's a genuine minting error. Collectors love these kinds of errors because they are rare, unique, and each coin has its own story. Another error to watch out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin isn't lined up properly in the press, so part of the design gets cut off. Some pennies are struck so far off-center that half the coin is blank. These kinds of dramatic errors are extremely popular among collectors and can fetch huge prices. Then there are even rarer situations, like a penny struck on the wrong planchet. Sometimes, during minting, a blank meant for a dime or even a foreign coin slips into the press, and the result is a Lincoln penny struck on a completely different piece of metal. Imagine finding a 1976 penny that's smaller, thinner, or even a different color because it was made on the wrong metal. That's the kind of discovery that can make your heart race, but even without errors, condition is everything. Most pennies from 1976 have been used, worn down, and tossed around for decades. But those few that were preserved in pristine condition, with full luster and sharp details, are worth far more than face value. Collectors are always on the hunt for these mint-state examples, and they're willing to pay a serious premium for them. Think about it like this: every coin is a piece of history. The 1976 penny may not have had a bicentennial design, but it was minted during a year when America was celebrating its 200th anniversary, a time of national pride, parades, fireworks, and history being remembered. Holding a 1976 penny isn't just about the copper, it's about holding onto a piece of that year, a little reminder of the bicentennial spirit, even if the design never changed. Now, here's where things get truly exciting. Some of these rare error coins and mint-state examples from 1976 have shocked collectors at auctions. Instead of being worth just 1 cent, they've been sold for prices that most people can't believe a penny could ever reach. Imagine looking through your jar of coins at home, pulling out a 1976 penny, and realizing that it's not just spare change, but a rare treasure that could change your life. That is the magic of coin collecting. So, the next time you come across a penny from 1976, don't dismiss it as ordinary. Take a closer look. Check the date, check the details, and keep an eye out for doubling, off-center strikes, or anything unusual. You never know what you might discover, and the reward could be incredible. And to end with the part you've been waiting for, some rare 1976 Lincoln pennies, especially those with the right errors and in top condition, have been sold for as much as $92,000. Top 2. We're going to dive into the fascinating world of the United States of America Lincoln penny from 1977, a coin that at first glance seems ordinary but has some incredible surprises hidden within it. Now, the 1977 penny was minted at a time when America was moving forward after the bicentennial celebrations of 1976. Unlike some of the flashy bicentennial coins, the penny kept its classic design, Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. More than 4 billion of these pennies were struck, so it's safe to say they're not rare in general. But here's the secret: while most 1977 pennies are just worth face value, a small number of them are hiding errors and features that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. Let's talk about some of those errors. One of the most exciting and highly sought after is the double die penny. Imagine holding a 1977 penny and noticing that the date or the lettering, like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," looks doubled. That doubling didn't happen from where, it came from the minting process itself, and collectors go crazy for it. These kinds of mistakes turn an ordinary penny into a rare variety that can sell for thousands. Another error worth mentioning is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet isn't placed correctly in the press, so part of the design is missing or shifted. Depending on how dramatic the off-center strike is, collectors are willing to pay a premium. A penny with about 50% of the design missing and the date still visible is especially valuable, and then there are transitional or wrong planchet errors. These are rare but fascinating. Imagine a penny struck on a blank meant for a dime or even a foreign coin. The size, color, and weight can be noticeably different, and these kinds of coins are always in high demand because of their rarity and uniqueness, but errors aren't the only factor. Condition plays a massive role. Most 1977 pennies have been in circulation for decades, scratched, worn, and passed through countless hands. But the few that were saved in pristine condition, graded high by coin services, with full red luster and sharp details, are the ones that bring the big money. Collectors are always chasing after these mint-state examples, because finding one in such perfect condition is like striking gold. The 1977 penny also carries historical significance. This was a period of economic and cultural change in the United States, and coins from that time represent not just currency, but a snapshot of American life. Owning one of these rare varieties is like holding a piece of history, a reminder that even the smallest coin has a story to tell. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. While most 1977 Lincoln pennies might only buy you a piece of candy, the rarest and most valuable ones, those with dramatic errors or flawless condition, have shocked collectors at auctions. In fact, one of these remarkable 1977 Lincoln pennies has sold for as much as $88,000. So, the next time you're going through your pocket change, don't just overlook those pennies. Take a moment, look closely, and who knows, you might just be holding onto a hidden treasure. Top 3. We're talking about a coin that many people have seen, spent, or even ignored without a second thought, the United States of America Lincoln penny from 1978. At first glance, it may just look like any other cent, but if you listen carefully and pay attention to the details, you'll realize that some of these pennies are worth thousands of dollars and could change the way you look at your pocket change forever. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln, and by 1978, it had already become one of the most recognized coins in American history. On the obverse side, you'll find Lincoln's famous profile, while on the reverse is the Lincoln Memorial, a design that ran from 1959 until 2008. Now, while billions of 1978 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, only a very small percentage hold the kind of secrets that collectors dream of. So, what makes some of these coins so special? The answer lies in two key things: errors and condition. Let's start with minting errors. Every now and then, something goes wrong at the mint. A double die obverse is one of the most famous errors, where the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or even the date itself appear doubled. Collectors absolutely love these because they're dramatic, obvious, and rare. Another highly collectible error is the off-center strike. Imagine a penny where Lincoln's portrait is shifted so far over that part of the coin is blank. The more off-center it is, while still showing the date, the higher the value. Then there are clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is literally missing due to a mistake during the cutting process. These unusual shapes make the coin stand out and increase its appeal, but perhaps the rarest of all are transitional or wrong planchet errors. Every so often, a penny gets struck on the wrong blank, maybe a dime planchet or even a foreign coin planchet. These are incredibly rare and can be worth a fortune because they're truly one of a kind. Now, condition is just as important as rarity. Most 1978 pennies have been circulating for decades, passing through countless hands, and picking up scratches, dents, and discoloration. But the ones that were saved in pristine, uncirculated condition, coins with full red luster, no visible wear, and sharp details, are the ones that make collectors' jaws drop. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC often award these coins grades of MS 65, MS 66, or even higher, and those are the examples that command premium prices at auction. It's also worth noting that the 1978 penny represents the final stretch of the bronze composition era before the big change to copper-plated zinc in 1982. That alone gives it historical importance because it belongs to the last decade of true copper pennies, which many collectors prefer for their weight, durability, and rich red color. For coin lovers, the thrill of finding a rare 1978 penny isn't just about the money, it's about holding a piece of history that somehow escaped the ordinary and became extraordinary. Each error or high-grade penny is like a time capsule, reminding us of the skill, imperfections, and surprises that come from the minting process. And now, here's the part you've been waiting for. While most 1978 Lincoln pennies are worth just 1 cent, the rarest examples, the ones with dramatic errors or preserved in flawless condition, have shocked the collecting world. In fact, one of these extraordinary 1978 Lincoln pennies has sold for as much as $72,000. So, the next time you see a 1978 penny in your change, don't just toss it aside. Look closely, study it, and you might just be holding onto a hidden treasure that could be worth more than you ever imagined. Top 4. We're uncovering the fascinating story of the United States of America Lincoln penny from the year 1979. Now, at first glance, this might look like the same small copper coin you've seen thousands of times in your everyday change. But don't be fooled, hidden among these coins are treasures that collectors dream of finding, coins so rare and valuable that their worth can change someone's life. So, sit back, listen closely, and let's dive into what makes the 1979 Lincoln penny so extraordinary. To begin, let's talk about the design. On the front of the penny, we see the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been featured since 1909. On the reverse, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a design that began in 1959 and continued through 2008. But while the design itself may not be rare, what truly excites collectors are the variations, the mint errors, and the unique conditions that make certain coins stand out from the millions of ordinary pennies. Now, the year 1979 was interesting for penny collectors. At this time, the penny was still made primarily of copper, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a rich tone and weight that modern zinc pennies simply do not have. Copper pennies are already more desirable than their later zinc counterparts, but what makes the 1979 issue fascinating is the number of rare errors and unusual strikes discovered by collectors over the years. One of the most talked about varieties is the double die error. Imagine looking at the date or the word Liberty on your penny and noticing that the letters appear doubled or shadowed. This isn't damage from circulation, this is a minting mistake, and when it happens, it can make the coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another exciting error is the off-center strike, where the coin is not perfectly aligned during minting, causing part of the design to be missing. These coins look unusual, almost like they were cut wrong, and collectors absolutely love them. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value. There are also broad strikes, clipped planchets, and even pennies with die cracks or cuts that make them truly unique. Each of these errors tells the story of how something went wrong at the mint, and instead of being worthless mistakes, they become treasures in the hands of collectors. The rarer the error, the more desirable the coin becomes, but beyond errors, condition plays a huge role. Most 1979 pennies you find in circulation today are worn, scratched, or faded from decades of use. However, a penny that has been carefully preserved in mint state, meaning it has no wear and looks just like it did the day it left the mint, can be worth far more. Collectors will pay a premium for coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, especially if the grade is high, such as MS-65, MS-66, or even higher. A perfect strike with strong luster and no marks can send the value soaring. Think about this. You might have a handful of pennies sitting in a jar at home, but tucked away in that pile could be a rare 1979 Lincoln penny that collectors would fight to own. That's the thrill of coin hunting, the idea that an everyday coin could actually be hiding a hidden fortune. Now, let's connect this to why collectors value these coins so highly. The Lincoln Cent series is the longest-running design in U.S. coin history. From its introduction in 1909 to today, collectors have been fascinated by its varieties and errors. Every year, people discover rare examples that turn ordinary pocket change into extraordinary stories. The 1979 penny is part of that tradition, and when you combine its copper composition, possible minting errors, and high-grade examples, you end up with a coin that captures the imagination of coin lovers everywhere. So here's the part that will really make your heart race. While most pennies are worth only a cent, some rare 1979 Lincoln pennies in pristine condition with dramatic errors have been valued at an astonishing $85,000. That's right, a single penny, worth less than the paper it's printed on, can command the price of a luxury car, or even a down payment on a house. This is why collectors across the United States, and around the world, are still searching through their change, coin rolls, and collections, hoping to uncover that one lucky coin. Because sometimes, history, rarity, and value come together in the smallest of packages. So the next time you see a Lincoln penny from 1979, don't just glance at it and toss it aside. Take a closer look. Because one of those little copper coins could be the hidden treasure that makes you the proud owner of a coin worth $85,000. Top 5. We're going to talk about a coin that many people overlook but coin collectors know has some fascinating secrets, the United States of America Lincoln penny from the year 1980. At first glance, the 1980 penny looks like any other coin you've seen 1,000 times before. It has Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, the familiar memorial building on the back, and it's made mostly of copper. But here's where it gets interesting, not all 1980 pennies are created equal. Some have tiny differences, rare minting errors, and qualities that transform them from ordinary pocket change into coins worth thousands of dollars. Before we get into all the details, let me pause for a second. If you're passionate about coins, history, or just love the thrill of possibly finding a hidden fortune in your change, then make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Coins Hunter USA, and turn on the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss any of our exciting videos where we uncover rare Lincoln pennies, valuable Washington quarters, and all kinds of coins worth money. Your support means the world, and it helps us keep this amazing community growing. Now let's dig into the story of the 1980 Lincoln penny. By 1980, the United States Mint was still producing pennies primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc. That means each coin actually had a metal value close to its face value. But here's the real kicker, the Mint made billions of these coins. With such a massive production, mistakes were bound to happen, and it's those minting errors that collectors chase today. Some of the most sought-after 1980 pennies include coins with doubling on the date or lettering, known as a double die. If you ever spot a penny where the numbers or letters look like they're slightly overlapping or shadowed, that's a big deal. Another kind of error is off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't aligned properly during minting. Even small off-center strikes can be valuable, but the more dramatic the error, the higher the value. There are also 1980 pennies with repunched mint marks. These are coins where the little D for Denver or S for San Francisco was stamped more than once, leaving a visible mark. Errors like these might seem tiny, but they are what make the difference between a penny that's only worth 1 cent and a penny worth thousands. Collectors love them because they're proof of how unpredictable and fascinating the minting process can be, and here's something even more exciting, condition plays a huge role. If you happen to have a 1980 penny that looks like it just came out of the mint yesterday, shiny and uncirculated, its value skyrockets. Collectors will pay top dollar for pristine coins, especially when combined with rare errors. That's why it's always smart to check your change carefully and never assume a penny is just a penny. Now let's bring it all together. Imagine holding a small copper coin from 1980, something most people wouldn't even bother to pick up off the sidewalk. To the untrained eye, it's worth 1 cent. But to the trained eye of a collector, that same penny could be hiding a fortune. In fact, certain rare examples of the 1980 Lincoln penny, with the right errors and in the right condition, have been valued as high as $90,000. Yes, you heard that right, $90,000 for a single penny. So the next time you're sorting through your coins, don't overlook those 1980 pennies. Check them closely. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks. Shine a light on them, grab a magnifying glass, and see if you might be holding a little piece of treasure. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to like it, subscribe to Coins Hunter USA, and share it with your friends, family, or anyone who might have a coin jar hiding in their house. Who knows, someone you know might be sitting on a rare coin and not even realize it. Together, we'll keep exploring the incredible world of coins and uncovering the treasures hidden in plain sight. Thanks for watching, coin lovers, and until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and keep believing that even the smallest coin in your hand could be worth a fortune.